folks, and welcome to the Counting Sheep podcast. This is episode 37, I believe. My name is Ruth, and I will be your host. And if you haven't been here before, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you along. My podcast is about all of the fibery things that I get up to here and around my small farm in Vermont, where I live with my husband and a whole host of little creatures. Mostly my dog, my cat, my sheep, which number in four in number, and also a little flock of chickens that we have. How are you all doing? Welcome back to my die-hard listeners and viewers. I appreciate you being here. We had some snow here on Thanksgiving, and it was quite the winter wonderland around here for the entire day, pretty much. It's nice to see the snow. It makes everything feel more festive and holiday-like. So yeah, I'm also doing Vlogmas, folks, which is a daily vlog, daily little snippets of my life, what I get up to here at the farm and elsewhere. So if you're into that kind of thing, it's right here on this channel. I've already got one up and another one coming today. This is December 2nd that I'm recording, although this might go up tomorrow just because our internet service here at the house has been very, very, very slow as of late, and so I will probably just try to find another venue to upload, but that's my problem, not yours. So I'm glad you're all here. So yeah, if you're into Vlogmas, it's not all Christmassy stuff. It's other things that I get up to, so come on over and have a look. This possibly will be a shorter podcast, just because of the whole daily vlog thing, and I have some things to show you that I completed. First being what I have on. I usually start with crochet, but this is knitted. This is my Wharf Street vest by Elizabeth Smith, and yeah, I just got this done over the weekend, so I'm just gonna back up, stand up, and show you the vest. It really is a perfect fit. Lovely, roomy armholes, and lovely texture. This yarn is Harrisville Highland yarn in the jade colorway. And yeah, I think I said that right, didn't I? Jade, because I always want to call it something else. Where am I? Sage colorway. Did I say sage? I don't know. I will write the correct colorway on the screen. So yeah, knits up really quickly. I just took my time with it, and got the fit that I wanted to get for it. So yeah, so all is well. Yeah, let me turn without falling down. That's always a good thing. Yeah, so I would highly recommend her patterns. I've already recycled my paper copy of mine, but you can get her patterns over on Ravelry. She also has a weekly blog or a blog newsletter that she puts out with all sorts of great tips, and it's like a Friday night thing. Comes out every Friday night, and she also includes some nice photography that her husband does of the Maine surroundings where she lives in Freeport, Maine. So yeah, that is my Wharf Street. Very proud of this. It's nice and cozy, and yeah, I've been wearing it all day. It's been keeping me nice and toasty. So all right, so skipped over crochet there. Maybe I'll just stick with knitting. I have a few things to show you in knitting, and then I'll get on to the crochet. I also have another finished object in knitting, and these are the socks that I was doing. last couple podcasts. Maybe it was just for the month of November. There was a clue that came out every Friday for 4 Fridays in November. And I took these on vacation with me on my week-long trip to Arizona. These are called Riddle Me This socks by Donna Dracunis. And I did check on Ravelry. It is a paid-for pattern. It is available. So she has released it for all market consumption. So here are the socks. And like I said, I did mine 2 at a time, magic loop, on 1 circular needle, because if I don't, they don't get completed. But here they are. As you can see, these have such nice texture to them. I feel like they look like the saguaro cacti that I saw in Arizona. Maybe it's because I was working on it at the same time, but they're very similar. And, you know, it helps that I was doing this in this colorway here. This yarn is by Lay Family Yarn, which they are independent dyers over in the UK. This is their logo, the ball band, and this particular skein was dyed by Allie from the Little Drops of Wonderful podcast, also an avid crocheter and knitter like myself. And she went there for a weekend and did her own personal dyed colorway, and it's called Wonderland Walk. This is a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. Yeah, and yeah, so Lay Family Yarn is Kelly and Nick. They are a couple, and they have their business in Ironbridge. And yeah, so that's them. And then, of course, the pattern is by Donna Dracunis. I did something a little different with the toe. Well, actually, I did what she had suggested. If you didn't want to do the toe she had planned for this. She had a garter stitch toe planned for this, just like the heel is a garter stitch heel. And I'm not sure that I really wanted all that texture next to my toes and my shoes and that sort of thing. I have fairly wide feet, and anything too textury will start to bother my toes and feet or whatever. So anyway, yeah. So I went with a regular decreased toe, like a rounded toe, and I think they came out great. I was able to try them on as I went, which is great. That's always a good thing. So I could really customize the fit to my feet. Yeah, so I really enjoyed these. I am so glad I can say I got these done within a month's time, and it is possible for me to knit a pair of socks in a month. So yeah, real proud, and hopefully I can do that again sometime. Probably not this month. This month is kind of busy. So, but hopefully in January, when things start to quiet down, I will once again make another pair of socks. They're not my first go-to project, strangely enough. Yeah, I love the finished product though. I love wearing hand knit socks. So yeah, that's definitely in the cards for me. I'm going to stick with knitting only because, you know, it's a theme. And I want to show you some of well, I didn't do too much. I didn't make too much progress on this next sweater. I showed it the last time. This is the halftone pullover, and it's by Indigo Knits, Kim at Indigo Knits. So this is what it looks like, done in J&S, and I've done mine in J&S, but any, I'm sure, fingering weight yarn will do. And I said I was going to try to have the body done, but no can do, not this week, not in the last few days. I did manage to put a little bit of length on to the ribbing. So, but there's this sweater gets an Italian bind off, which has 2 setup rows, and then it's a kind of a, almost similar to a Kitchener bind off, but it's a sewn bind off. So yeah, I didn't quite get to that. This is my cord where I have the sleeve stitches on hold. But yeah, I'm going to find some quiet time this week and try to get that done, since I had 2 other whips completed this past time. So yeah, I looked Italian bind off up on the web and found a really good video for it. And I also have a book on cast on and bind off different methods. So I'm going to consult that as well. I believe I did do the Italian bind off for something, I want to say. It's grown really in popularity, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, it is also considered a tubular bind off. So yeah, so it looks real rounded. It looks like, and it's non-binding, so it's not like you're going to get a real big pull-in down here for where the waist is. So yeah, so that's my halftone. Oh, this is J&S yarn, like I said. This is FC37, the blue, and the gray is 203. And it might look a little wonky to you because this is off the cone and unwashed, and this is washed off of the ball. So once this gets blocked, it'll look quite a bit better. And the sweater is quite large, but it's meant to have kind of a sweatshirt fit to it. So I'm right on the money. I have tried it on, and I think we're just going to plug away at that. And then I pulled out another sweater from the whip pile that I abandoned back, it's almost a year ago now. And my friend Tammy will be really happy that I pulled this out, because she helped me pick out part of the yarn for it. This is a Jennifer Steingass pattern, and it is called Nordic Nights. And that's Jennifer herself. I just love this tree motif. And if you've been with me for the past year, you know that I hand spun the tree color, and this is what the tree color looks like. This is from Dirty Girl Yarns and Fibers. She's a Southern Vermont person, and she dyes roving, which is what I did. I bought from her, but she also has her own hand spun yarn. So that is, yeah, it's a two ply. I did a 2-ply Rambouillet, and then I decided that since I was at Spa last year in February and I was with Tammy, she helped me to pick out the main color for my sweater, and that's this lovely ochre type yarn. This is from Maine Yarn and Fiber Supply, so that's their little tag there, and it is a 4-ply fingering weight, so 433 yards to 4 ounces, and it is 80% superwash merino wool and 20% nylon. So it is a kind of a sock weight yarn, a sock yarn, but I think the nylon gives it some really good body. So yeah, I think I purchased 3 skeins of that. 1, 2, 3, yeah. So these are the colors. And this is basically where I had left off back in, I want to say March, back in March. So, so color work tension wise and that sort of thing, this hopefully will all come out in the block And as I get down more into the thicker parts of the trees, you'll be able to see the patterning a lot better. This is the reverse side. So yeah, and yeah, I really am. I was enjoying this, and the reason why I decided to get it back out was I was hankering for some more color work. Crazy me, but yeah, I got that cowl done. The color work, the shift cowl from Andrea Mowry, and I was just aching to do a little bit more. So I know I had this in my whip pile, and so yeah, it's back. So that we will get to. We will see more of that in the future. I forget what size needles I ended up deciding on, but this was my in the swatch round. In the round swatch. Words. There we go. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Getting re-excited about that again. Not that I ever lost my mojo, but summer knitting tends to be more on the light side for me, rather than having a big heavy sweater in my lap. All right, and I think that's it for knitting. I'm gonna switch gears and we'll go over to crochet now. My poor Morag, if you have been with me, I am doing a little amigurumi Highland coup called Morag. And it is a kit from the Toft Company, which is a UK-based company. The kit comes with everything you need to make the little Highland coup. And yeah, I didn't get much done on him at all this past time. Hoping to find some time. Hopefully I can get him done before the new year. He has a lot of work, I gotta tell you. He's got that loop stitch going on and it really stops you in your tracks. But that's not to say he's not worth making. He's the cutest little thing. So yeah, so stay tuned for more progress on that. If you have been watching my Vlogmas, you know that I have two sort of fibery advent calendars that I have acquired. One of which is from the Unique Sheep, and that is Laura Lowe. She has been a dyer for quite some time now, and I've been following her, and she does the most wonderful gradient sets. And I know I showed you this pattern last week, which is the Granny Striped Shawl, and this is by Moanne, and she is a fellow podcaster and crocheter, knitter, and designer. Her podcast is Crochet Object Knitting, and this is her newest pattern out, and it's meant to use up advents or scraps of yarn that you have just laying around. And last week I had mentioned that I had this old advent yarn calendar laying around, but when Laura's from the Unique Sheep, when her advent calendar came and I started opening it up yesterday, I realized that the gradient was something I had to use right away. I just wanted to see it develop. And if you know Laura's colors, you know what I mean. She makes a beautiful dyed yarn. So I decided to switch gears and use her yarn. So every day when I open up a new little mini from Laura, it'll go into this shawl by Moanne. Anyway, I wanted to show you first day one and day two. This is day one's color. And then day two is this one. Now they may look very similar to you on camera, but I can tell you there are some brown flecks in here, and it's moving more toward the green spectrum, rather than this looks more yellowy, and I'm not sure if that's coming up. But anyway, but let me show you. I've done, so far, I've worked both colors into the shawl, and here it is. Now, I mentioned last time also that this is a special kind of shawl because Moanne has cleverly worked some increases in here and some shaping for your shoulders. So it's going to really kind of be a very flattering shawl to wear as well. But anyway, so there it is, those first two colors from the Advent. And I, as a Vlogmas person, will take you along with me and we'll just watch this thing develop together. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. This is a fingering weight yarn. It is 100% merino. It's superwash merino. And each little skein is 20 grams and you get about 87 yards. So I've already used this for a square in my Crochet Memories blanket, which is by Hannah Sigmund. So I got a square out of this. I also want to start another project, another kind of blanket for next year. So I got a little square like that out of it. And then I also got a hexagon, a little small hexagon out of this. And I still have this left over. So 87 yards is quite some yardage when you're looking at a fingering weight yarn. And this is probably, those last few things I said will probably be done with this as well. So yeah, so check out Moanne. She has her own podcast. She hails from Israel. And thankfully they have a ceasefire on now, which is great news. Yeah, there were a couple vlogs that I was watching of hers and the air raid sirens were going off. And I just, you know, you have chest pain yourself for these people, you know, and can't imagine what it must be like to live in a situation like that. So, all right, so Crochet Granny Wrap by Moanne of Crochet Object Knitting. And then finally, my other project I wanted to show you in crochet, I did start the Roxy sweater. This is a pattern by Courtney Clark of Tinderbox. So there's hers. And you start with the front on this particular pattern. And I'm going to show you, this is my gauge swatch. I think I showed that the last time. Let me make sure I'm getting this right so I don't twist it up on you. So yeah, I started, got both of the front straps done. I have dog hair all over the place because Cooper likes to sit with me while I'm crocheting and knitting. Bless his heart. And so this is kind of what's going on here. Yeah, so these are the straps. I have this weighed down a little bit. So now that I'm looking at it, it seems to be a little wide on me. But if I wear something underneath it, it's probably going to be just fine. But so yeah, doing some griddle stitch, or what she calls lemon peel stitch. And you can see it's real textured. And I'm using an F-size hook for this. I believe that's a 3.75 millimeter hook. So yeah, I might have to look at this again now that I've got it on camera. You always think, you know, when you see stuff on camera, what's going on. But she does have kind of an off-the-shoulder look to hers, so it's meant to be down here, I think. Yeah. So anyway, that's the progress on the Roxy. And my yarn is Barocco Vintage DK. So that's this. And the color number is 21174. And it is obviously a DK. Yeah, a number 3 yarn. And the content is 52% acrylic, 40% wool, and 8% nylon. Yeah, I'm loving this green color, so it'll be fun to make that up. All right. So, and finally, just wanted to show you an acquisition I got this week. This came in the mail. Since I was kind of on a, somewhat for me, a sock jazz, I have her first book. This is Charlotte Stone, and this is Joyful Colorwork Socks. Thought I'd share this with you. If anything, this is just lovely eye candy for the knitter. She does such a great job of just designing socks and walking you through the process. And here's a little, for those of you who are from the 80s and played Pac-Man. That's better, right? Yeah, and then, of course, the cat's on the front. You can't beat that. And she just, knocks it out of the park every single time. I love the little lipstick and lips socks. And what else does she have here? If you're just into doing not all over, she even has something for you. This is more my speed in terms of color work for socks. A little, she calls this the fancy acappa. Yeah, so yeah, I this came up on my pre-order screen for Amazon, and I said, oh, what the heck, I have her first her first book, so why not? And then she has little gnome socks too. Just adorable. Yeah, so you should check her out. Check her out on Ravelry. I mean, she has other patterns, not just her book patterns. She has other great patterns to look at. But yeah, this is 25 new knitting patterns for fun and whimsical footwear. And why not? We're knitters, and so we can make our own socks the way we want. And so why not? Yeah. So I thought I'd share that with you. And so that's going to do it for me. A little short episode today. And yeah, join me over on Vlogmas for all my shenanigans over there. And I will see you on the next podcast coming up in 2 weeks. Take care now. Bye-bye.